some crews crossing over the water there, trying to get themselves into the docks by the looks. This is, again, very strong wind conditions here. Make it very difficult for a rower to keep themselves in alignment, particularly when we've got the strong directional breeze. However, hopefully we'll let up relatively quickly, and we'll be able to get back to unhindered racing here for you, ladies and gentlemen. It appears we're getting to the point where we've almost got alignment here. This race should commence in about a minute. They've begun the chopping technique, which is where you lift your oars and then drop them back in the water, and it's an attempt to basically keep yourself in place without pushing yourself forward or backwards. And ladies and gentlemen, they are off. Heat 2 of the women's quad is taking off now. Everyone seems to have had a relatively easy and good start. It appears to me that there is no clear leader off the bat. However, it appears to me, oh my, that would be, let's see, who is that? I think that might be Xavier and Waterford seem to be having a bit of a problem in terms of crossing over each other. Although I can't say for certain, I could be incorrect. Long Beach is starting to cross into the area of CYC. CYC has a bit of a lead over them, fortunately, which means they're not clashing oars yet. However, they have to be very careful about their route because they're starting to encroach in on CYC slightly. Furthermore, I believe that is, where is it? Zlack and Waterford seem to be having a bit of a problem as well in terms of their course. It appears that Zlack is kind of cutting into Waterford's water, if you will, a little bit there. So the officials are doing what they can to try to fix that. But it appears to me from this point that Long Beach and CYC seem to have a slight lead off the start here with, I believe that's Xavier coming in third. However, that could slightly be because of the angle. It appears that it is then, Zlack and then Waterford in terms of positioning. Passing the boathouse at 850 meters to go in this women's quad race, it appears to me that Long Beach does still have a slight lead here, or is definitely fighting it with CYC in an attempt to get into that top position. However, keep in mind that this is still a heat. This is the second heat of this race, therefore, it is still the top two move on to the final here. Long Beach starting to pull it in slightly over CYC, appearing to get a slight lead here. As we cross the 500 meters mark, it appears Long Beach is in the lead. CYC is right after, followed directly after by Xavier and then Zlak. However, it's still anybody's race. These boats are all very close together at the 500 meter mark, and anything can happen in the 500 meters that are left in this race. As we approach my tent and the 250 meters to go mark, it does appear that Long Beach still has a very strong commanding lead here. Starting to pull into open water, CYC and Xavier seem to be the two competitors for that second position and the remaining seat in that final. However, at this point, it appears Long Beach, who has definitely got a decent amount of open water over CYC, who's got an open water over Xavier. However, Xavier is starting to pull it ahead here. At this 250 meters to go, they're starting to definitely power up. I think they realize how close they are and what they need to do now, and they're starting to really put that pressure on to try to get themselves up forward and into one of the two positions for that final. However, Zlak and I believe it's Waterford pulling up the rear there. As we approach the remaining couple hundred meters here, the last 100 meters or so, it appears to me that Long Beach has still got that commanding lead there. It appears that Xavier has managed to pull it ahead above CYC. However, I can't say for certain. I'd have to check. We'll have to see how the race finishes and what the official call is there. But it appears that Long Beach has definitely made it into the final there. If it's CYC or Xavier has yet to be determined.
Really funny. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm angry.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we move into Heat 3 of the women's quad, the final heat. Again, the first two will move on to the final here. We have in lane 2, we have... Give me 1 second. I apologize for this. It would appear, I believe that is Cathedral. Followed in lane 3 is Marina. In lane 4, San Diego B. In lane 5, Long Beach Junior Crew B. And in lane 6, CYC, or California Yacht Club. That will be the final heat in the women's quad. And again, the top two move on to the final there. That race will begin in about 2 minutes. The boats are lining up here, getting ready for the start of this final heat here. Getting themselves into position, getting themselves aligned. The official launches are there, making sure everybody's in line with each other. The start line, preparing to get the boats onto the water and moving down this course for this heat. Wind starting to not die down necessarily, but definitely starting to calm down a little bit. It isn't as strong as it was earlier. However, it's still there. It's still a factor that these crews are going to have to consider as they're coming down, particularly that slight moving to the left crosswind.
You've been doing it for hours.
Yeah, I'm basically I'm doing the announcing for the live stream.
Gotcha, I thought so. You're doing a good job. It's like, you think you know a lot about this? Who's
Thanks. Yeah. Okie dokie, let's see.
Hey Robert, you want to write down the 16 fan?
Is that for, this is the men's lightweight double?
Yeah.
Is that the final? Okay.
Yep.
Hold on, let me see.
You want me to read it to you?
Here, hold on, let me just pause this really quick. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just apologize for that. We're just getting the lineup for the doubles race. The final heat is underway currently. Everyone seems to have gotten off to a relatively good start. No serious issues off the bat. Everyone seems to be pushing down relatively easily here. It appears to me that there is a slight favor here for, it appears to me, rather, that CYC seems to have gotten a slight lead. Granted, that could be partially the angle. But it appears to me that CYC has a slight lead here. However, it looks like, I believe that's Marina. Yeah, it appears to me that Marina is starting to pull up on them. Really looks like they're getting off to a really early lead here. So that is good for them. Getting an early lead here is very good because it allows you to grip on and try to hold on to the best of your ability. It appears that, let's see now. It would be, I believe that's Cathedral and San Diego seem to have a slight lag there in terms of they're coming in a bit behind everybody else. Yeah, it definitely appears like Marina has definitely pulled up ahead of them. Looks like they've almost gotten a full boat. As we pass the boathouse, which indicates we've got about 850 to go, it appears like Long Beach pulling it up over CYC now. CYC in the second position, Marina in the third. At this point, though, it looks like Long Beach is really starting to haul it out as we start getting closer and closer to the 500-meter mark. They may be in the first position by that point. However, it looks like Marine is trying to do everything within their power to get themselves ahead, try to get themselves into that final race. And it appears at the moment that the forerunners are Marina and Long Beach. So we'll see if it stays that way, or whether they're going to start dying off here in this final heat of the women's lightweight quad. Let's see. Passing the 500-meter mark, it definitely appears Long Beach has got that lead position. Marina pulling it ahead of CYC. However, it's still a close race. If CYC starts powering it up now, they may be able to pull it away from Marina. As they approach my tent and the indicator that they've hit about 250 meters to go, Long Beach has a commanding lead. However, Marina's starting to pull it up here. Looks like they're attempting to start cutting into Long Beach's lead, cutting away at that open water that they've got, starting to walk it up. Marina walking it up on Long Beach quite a bit. It appears the two of them are the top contenders at this moment. CYC starting to fall behind there. It appears as we approach the last couple hundred meters, Long Beach and Marina seem to be the clear contenders. However, CYC could still pull this off if they start really pushing here. If they start really hauling, they may just be able to pull it up ahead of Long Beach and Marina, but they're going to have to start really pushing now. And I imagine that both Long Beach and Marina still have what it takes to start really powering if they absolutely have to. As we approach the final stretch into the last couple meters, maybe 50 to 100, it appears that Long Beach and Marina will be the two moving on into this final, the final for the women's quad. In about 4 minutes, we will be getting Heat 1 of the women's freshman 4. That will be in lane 2, Oakland. In lane 3, Marina. In lane 4, oh dear. Newport Seabase? I think that's Seabase. Yeah, that'll be Seabase. In lane 5, Marin. And in lane 6, Oakland B. And in lane 7, Long Beach B. So once again, for the where am I? Oh, here we go. For Heat 1 of the women's 4, it will be in lane 2, Oakland A. In lane 3, Marina. In lane 4, Seabase. In lane 5, Marin. In lane 6, Oakland B. And in lane 7, Long Beach. This is a 2-heat race, meaning that the top 3 will move on to the final of the women's freshman 4. Which will commence, that heat will commence in approximately 3 minutes. After these heats, we will have the heats for the men's freshman 4, and then we will move on to a small break that will go until about 4:30. So that will be that. That will happen momentarily. However, we will get the 4 underway before we can even consider that. So let's focus there. We're about ready to get underway with the first heat of the women's freshman 4, heat number 1. I am seeing they are beginning to align the boats. However, it appears there are some people in the middle of the course currently. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. The officials might have to go in and check and see what's going on with that. Because it appears there is a Long Beach 4 in the middle of the race currently, or in the middle of the course. But it appears the officials might be coming to deal with that. Never mind, they're on their way, trying to do what they can to move out of the way of the course, so that's good. So, we're setting up now for the women's freshman 4, heat number 1. In about a minute or so. We have alignment. And they're off, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody off to a very nice start there. No major hang-ups or hitches as we take off. It appears that let's see, who is that? Where am I? That would be, I believe that's Oakland has pulled into an early lead against Long Beach. However, it looks like Long Beach is doing what they can to try to pull that pull Marin back and get themselves back into this race. Yeah, Marin having a very, very strong, what appears to be a very strong early lead. However, from what I can see, yes, it's the Oakland B boat seems to have the first position. Long Beach in second by the looks. Looks like that Marin is doing what they can to try to pull themselves back into this top 4 here, though. Again, it's the top 3 that move themselves onto the finals. So all they have to do is pass one of these crews, and they'll be able to get themselves into this final here. Yeah, okay. Very, very close race here. It appears that these four boats are starting to clump quite a bit. Long Beach, Oakland, Marin, and oh goodness gracious, who is that? And I think that's Seabase. Seem to be clumped in very, very close together to the point where they're in danger of running into each other if they're not careful. Hopefully the officials can rectify that before it gets too dangerous. As we approach the boathouse and 850 meters to go, it appears that Seabase is pulling into quite a commanding lead here, pulling it ahead of everybody. Oakland and Marina trying to do what they can to get themselves back into this top battle. However, this is a very close race, ladies and gentlemen. It appears to me, however, at this current moment, that Seabase has a lead. Marina's in second, Oakland in third. However, it's still anybody's race. As we approach 500 meters to go, anything can happen, ladies and gentlemen, in these last 500 meters, or 5 to 700 meters. Anything can happen. As long as these crews just keep pushing the way that they are, they're going to be able to pull this off. But it appears, however, that Seabase has definitely pulled themselves to a very commanding lead. Marin doing quite well. Oakland in third, it appears. However, it might be that this Oakland boat is actually pulling it ahead of Marina as we approach the 500 meters to go, ladies and gentlemen. It could be anybody's game at this point. This race is very, very close. Anything can happen. As we approach 500 meters to go, it appears that Seabase has a commanding lead here. However, Oakland is doing what they can to pull themselves into this race. The Oakland boat and Marina in two have definitely taken some steps, really pulled themselves up. Oakland starting to pull themselves into the lead, pushing themselves past Seabase. As we reach my tent, indicating we have reached about 250 meters to go. Oakland in first, Seabase in second, Marina in third. Long Beach has been left in the dust. They've really lost that early lead that they had there. And it appears to me that the three tops, Oakland, Marina, and Seabase. However, the other Oakland boat could pull it back if they really start pushing in this last 250 meters here. And, oh goodness gracious. It appears that, goodness gracious, who is that? I think that's, okay, hold on a minute. No, that's Oakland. I'm sorry, that's Marina. Marin. Marin could pull themselves back if they start really powering here. However, the Oakland and Long Beach boats appear to be have been left in the dust as the final three, moving on to the final, appear to be Oakland, Marina, and Seabase. So this race comes to the close. Last few hundred meters are pulled, and the LGRC, what does that mean? Los Gatos Rowing Club, thank you. In lane 5, Paulo. In lane 6, Los Gatos Rowing Club B. And in lane 7, Zlak. This is a full race, ladies and gentlemen. 7 lanes on the course at once. It's going to make it very difficult if the boats aren't careful and if they aren't kept in alignment. Because if they start to move into each other with 7 boats on the course, it can get very messy very quick. That race, ladies and gentlemen, will take place in about 2 minutes.
It's a full house.
Yeah, it is.
So are you just getting?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting set up here for the second and final heat of the women's freshman 4 as we get ready to take off here. Here, let's get my binoculars. We're getting slightly fuzzy. La, la, la.
I'm so pissed. I'm pissed. Like, what?
I'm not that angry at him because
There's a bit of a problem here. We've got what appears to be a pleasure boat moving through the race course. It could be that they've allowed him through, but it appears it's going to cause a slight delay in the program here, ladies and gentlemen. We got about a minute or so behind. I'm sorry, we're not even behind yet. It's supposed to start right around now, but we'll see. Yeah, the boat is being escorted off the course as we prepare for the final heat of the women's freshman 4. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have the start of the women's 4 about ready to get underway. Once again, for those of you just joining us, it is Long Beach in lane 1, San Diego in lane 2, Casitas in lane 3, Los Gatos in lane 4, Palo in lane 5, Los Gatos B in lane 6, and Black in lane 7. So this is, again, a full house, ladies and gentlemen. Very full house. But again, the top 3 will move on to the final. And they're underway, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, they have taken off, and the race is underway. It appears from here that there might be a slight lead. Well, nowhere, actually. This appears to be a very even start, ladies and gentlemen. All of the boats starting off at about the same pace, it's not the same pressure, and are on their way. As they row down the course here, it appears that Long Beach might have a slight lead, but they are starting to move into the rocks there. Again, like I said, this being a full house, there is a bit of a problem with that 7th position, that 7th lane of trying to keep yourselves out of those rocks from smashing into them, because we do have this side crosswind here, ladies and gentlemen. However, if I had to guess, oh, I'm sorry, that's not even Long Beach. My apologies, that is actually Zlack. I apologize profusely. That was my mistake. Yeah. So Zlack seems to have a slight lead here, but they are starting to struggle with those rocks a little bit. It appears, however, that oh goodness gracious, who is that? I think that is one of the Los Gatos boats is starting to pull themselves into a pretty decent lead here, ladies and gentlemen. I can't say for certain, but it appears like they are starting to pull it up. They're starting to walk up on everybody else. So, yeah, that's definitely one of the Los Gatos boats. Zlack, again, they've made it past the 850-meter mark, past the boathouse. They seem to actually slightly still be in the lead, but however, it looks like one of those Los Gatos crews is starting to pull up on them. That actually might not be a Los Gatos crew. Hold on a second. If that wasn't Los Gatos, that might be Paulo, actually. I apologize. That actually might be Paulo who's starting to pull up and go to the lead there. Yeah, I think that is. I think that's so. I believe it's Zlak and Paulo are in the contention for that first position there. As we move into about 500 meters to go. Yeah, Paulo and Zlak, as well as it looks like Casitas might be making a decent run for their money, giving everybody a run for their money here, and that push to get that top three. It appears Paulo. I think that's Paulo, Los Gatos, and Zlak seem to be the top three at the moment. Hold on, maybe not. I think it's Zlak and the two Los Gatos goes actually. Some of these units look a little bit similar, so I apologize for the confusion here. Yeah, it appears that. No, yeah, looks like one of the Los Gatos crews, Zlak, and Palo Alto are the three crews in contention for this final heat here. Casitas doing what they can to try to pull themselves up as we push into the 500 meter. Long Beach as well starting to pull themselves into this top position, trying to get themselves into a position where they'll actually qualify for this final. However, they're going to have to pull themselves ahead of Zlak, who seems to be starting to slag a little bit. It could possibly be because again, they're starting to have problems with those rocks. They're starting to get very close to those. If I were them at this point, I'd be trying to pull themselves off of that rock, or those rocks a little bit, so I don't risk hitting myself. At the moment, Palo Alto and one of the two, goodness gracious, Los Gatos crew in the lead. Long Beach, Casitas, and Zlak in contention for that third position. It is a very close race. Casitas pulling it ahead of Zlak currently, but Long Beach is currently trying to do what they can to pull themselves back up to the lead and throw themselves into the third position so that they can actually make it into this final. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do it, though. 250 meters to go, and it's anybody's race still. Long Beach, Casitas, and Zlak, all three of them doing what they can to get themselves forward into that third position so they can make it into the final of this women's freshman 4. All of these women, freshmen in high school, have at least 3 years ahead of them in terms of rowing if they continue with it for all 3 years of high school. All of them showing fantastic potential in this race. At the moment, as they move into the final stretch, it's anybody's game for this third position. Anything could happen. However, I will say it appears that Paulo and Los Gatos do have that final, those two of those positions. The third one could go to anybody, though. It's anybody's race. We are, at the moment, getting ready to start for the men's freshman 4. Heat number 1, this is a 3-heat race, meaning the top 2 will be the ones moving on to the final. In lane 1, Marin Aquatic Center. In lane 2, San Diego Rowing Club. Oh, is that San Diego? Shoot, let me make sure of that. Yeah, San Diego Rowing Club. In lane 3, Long Beach Junior Crew B. In lane 5, Oakland. And in lane 6, Newport Aquatic Center. That race will be underway shortly if it hasn't already started. It has already started, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. Yeah, we're already underway with the men's freshman 4. These men pushing their way down the course. Everyone off to a very safe and clear start here. Pushing their way down the course, doing what they can, pushing themselves ahead of everybody else. So, let's see now. From the initial position, it appears that I believe that Marina might have a slight lead here over the rest of the crews. Yeah, it definitely appears that Marina has pulled themselves into a bit of an early lead here. Hopefully they'll be able to maintain it, because if they can, it's going to be into the finals for them, guaranteed. However, they're coming up, finishing the first few hundred meters, pushing towards 850 meters to go. Looks like Marina has just passed San Diego and is pushing their way through. Long Beach and Marina seem to be the two contenders for these top positions here. Oh my, never mind. Newport. I didn't even see Newport. Newport well ahead of everybody else. However, they are struggling against those rocks again. They have got to get themselves off those rocks so they don't risk crashing their boat. They need to focus on getting themselves into more open water at the moment. That way they can focus on keeping themselves going straight and pulling as hard as they can so they don't have to worry about running into those rocks anymore. However, at the moment it appears Newport, Long Beach, and Marina seem to be the top contenders in this race here. As we approach 500 meters to go, Newport seems to have a commanding lead here. Long Beach and Marina struggling for that second position. However, it appears that Marina has gotten a bit of a lead over Long Beach here. However, it's still anybody's race at 500 meters to go. As we Newport has just passed 500 meters, as has Marina. It appears Newport and Marina seem to be in the top spot. Long Beach and San Diego trying to do what they can to keep themselves in this race. Long Beach trying to push themselves past Marina, get themselves into that final, but it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to. They've got about 500 meters still left to go, so anything's possible. But at this point, they're going to have to start really powering up, and they are going to have to put in more power than Marina is currently, because Marina is doing what they can to keep Long Beach off of their tail. They do not want to let Long Beach pass them.
Running country, cool.
As they pass they're coming up on the 250 meters to go. Newport, very commanding lead here. Marina, open water over Marina. Marina open almost a full 2 boats open water over Long Beach. Marina doing what they can. They're starting to look like they're going to pass up Newport here. But again, as I mentioned before, as this is a heat, top 2 go into the final, so it will likely be Newport and Marina here, unless Long Beach can pull something off in these last 250 meters or so. As we move into the last couple hundred meters or so, it appears Newport is going to take that first position. Marina in the second. Long Beach just couldn't pull it off in those last couple hundred meters. But again, these guys are freshmen still. They still have a lot of growth left. They're still going to be able to pull it off in later years. I don't doubt for a second.
Let's say Newport and Marine. Oh, is that Marine or Marine?
I did. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, moving into the last, the second heat, in about 3 minutes for the men's freshman 4. This is heat number 2. In lane 2, Pacific A. In lane 3, Oakland B. In lane 4, Brophy A. In lane 5, Los Gatos. And in lane 6, Long Beach Junior Crew A. That will be the second heat for this men's freshman 4. Same situation. Top 2 go to the final. So as I was saying before, it will be this heat, one more heat, and then we go into a slight break, and then we just go, and it's a ton of finals after that. Couple of heats in there as well, but it'll be Junior Varsity 4 final, freshman 8 final, and then that lightweight double and the women's single. We're about ready to start in about a minute. We will be getting the race underway for Heat 2 of the men's freshman 4. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving into Heat 2 of the men's lightweight 4. I'm sorry, the men's freshman 4. Apologies. And it appears we are about ready to get the race underway. Boats are aligning, and it is 4 o'clock, which means the race is a go in terms of time. We are attempting to get alignment here. As soon as we see the green flag, we'll know we'll have alignment, and the race will be soon to start. We have alignment, and the race is off, ladies and gentlemen. Heat 2 of the men's freshman 4 is on its way. And it appears to me that I believe it is. I believe it's Brophy has taken a very early lead here. We've seen them do that quite a bit late today, taking off the very early leads that they just keep for the rest of the race. So we'll see if this race will be similar. It appears that Brophy, Long Beach, and Los Gatos seem to have the early lead here. However, I believe more than anything, it's probably Brophy that's got a really strong lead here. And the other two will likely be due to an angle problem. They're moving down the course. Everybody got off to a relatively good start here. No major issues. San Diego seems to be pulling. Seems to be pulling into the back a little bit, but I'm sure if they push now, they'll be able to definitely get themselves forward. As a matter of fact, they seem like they're already starting to do it. Looks like Brophy's starting to fall off there a little bit. Los Gatos and Long Beach definitely pulling it ahead as we start moving into the 850 meters to go mark. It appears that Los Gatos has a very strong, is starting to pull into a lead here. San Diego and Los Gatos seem to have a decent lead. Brophy seems to have fallen off. They probably put too much energy in there at the beginning. Long Beach and Los Gatos head and head, neck and neck here. And San Diego and Brophy seem to be in about the same rate as well. It appears that San Diego has definitely started to pull ahead here. They're starting to really power up, starting to push themselves forward as we start nearing the 500 meters to go. They seem to be trying to pull themselves up and get into the position where they're actually passing Los Gatos and Long Beach. Keep in mind it is a heat, and the top two in this case go on to the finals. So San Diego has to do what they can to try to get themselves into the lead. It appears now that Los Gatos and San Diego have pulled ahead, leaving Long Beach behind. Long Beach doing what they can to try to catch back up to San Diego, but as we approach the 500-meter mark, it's Los Gatos and San Diego in the lead. Long Beach doing what they can, close, but not quite there yet. However, with 500 meters to go, it's still anybody's race. Anything can happen at this point. As we push into around my tent, which means we're about 250 meters to go, San Diego pulling into a power 10, starting to do what they can, pushing up. Oh, is that not San Diego? Is that Pacific? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Did I really make that mistake? I am so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. That has not been San Diego this whole time. That has been Pacific. I apologize profusely for that. That's my mistake. But anyway, Pacific starting to really pull ahead here, pushing even further past Los Gatos and Long Beach, starting to pull themselves into the initial position here. Los Gatos doing what they can to try to keep themselves ahead of Long Beach. Long Beach trying to pull ahead in these last 250 meters to get themselves into the final. However, I don't know if they're going to be able to. Pacific has pulled into a very commanding lead. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to be caught now. However, as we approach the last 100 to like 50 meters, I'm almost positive it appears that Pacific has definitely secured their spot. Los Gatos and Long Beach doing what they can to try to put themselves into the second position, but I'm not sure who it's going to be at this point. It could go be anybody's game at the moment. It's anybody's race. As we move into the last couple meters rather, Pacific pulls ahead into the final. The second, we'll have to wait until I get official results. In about 2 minutes, we'll be moving on to the final heat, which will be in race 3 Pacific. Or I'm sorry, in lane 3 Pacific, in lane 4. I'm not quite sure. Hold on. NS. BR. Who is that again? Is that community? No, that's oh goodness gracious. That's Seabase. Okay, so here. Let's try that again. Final heat in the men's 4, which will take place in about a minute, I think. Yes, in about a minute. It will be in lane 3 Pacific, in lane 4 Seabase, in lane 5 Casitas, and in lane 6 Brophy. Once again, final heat of the men's freshman 4. Top 2 move to the final. Pacific in lane 3, Seabase in lane 4, Casitas in lane 5, Brophy in lane 6. And then we'll be moving to a short break and resume at 4:40. Boats on their way to the starting line for this final heat. Attempting to get alignment still. The flag has not yet been raised, but we still have about a minute before the race is about to start, so it could be they're waiting. Brophy having some difficulties on the line there dealing with this current. The water seems to have glassed down a little bit, which is nice. The wind seems to have died down, not pushing as strongly to the left anymore. It's definitely still pushing down the course a little bit, but beyond that, the strong leftward wind seems to have died down a bit, which will make it easier for our crews to get down this course, significantly easier. We're waiting, as we wait for Brophy to get aligned, and onto their stake boat, rather. Once Brophy is aligned, we can begin the race. Or is that not Brophy? Shoot. No. No, it is, because that's Pacific. Pacific Seaways. Brophy and... What the heck is going on? Pacific Brophy Casitas. Brophy pulling up to the stake boat now. Getting ready to start this race. We are slightly delayed, but there is a break after this, so the delay isn't too consequential at the moment. As we're going to a break after this anyway.
Hey, I have a question for you.
The Brophy boat has been pulled into the stake boat now. We're just a matter of getting alignment.
Thank you.
And we are getting alignment. I think we've got alignment. We have alignment. And the race is off, ladies and gentlemen. The boats are heading down the course. A very clean start from all crews as they begin moving their way down the course. I could be, by the looks of it, it appears that Pacific has pulled into a very early lead here. Casitas, Pacific has attempted to pull into a lead here, but it looks like Seabase is doing what they can to keep them in check, keep them close, keep them to the point where they're still passable. As we push into the first couple hundred meters. By the looks of it, Seabase, Casitas, and Pacific. This is actually this is a very close race in general. Everyone seems to be in about a similar position. Casitas looks like they're trying to get themselves to a bit of an early lead here, but it looks like everybody seems to be in about the same pace, seems to be at about the same location. So this may be a very, very close race, ladies and gentlemen. Very exciting. Casitas really starting to pull it ahead here. Brophy's starting to fall behind, falling into these rocks a little bit. They really need to correct their courses. They're going to start having some issues later down the line. But it appears that Casitas is definitely pulling into a commanding lead. Followed closely by Seabase and then Pacific. And Pacific and Brophy seem to be in about the same place. Maybe Seabase and Brophy. But Casitas has definitely pulled into an early lead here as we approach 850 meters to go in this men freshman 8 heat number 3. Without a doubt, Casitas definitely pulling to a commanding lead here. Seabase doing what they can to try to rein them in, but it looks like Casitas is not going to be caught. They keep going at this rate and at this pace, and if nothing else happens, it looks like they may just pull this off, first position here. Granted, there's still a decent amount of time left. We're approaching the 500 meters to go. A lot can happen in this amount of time. I wouldn't count any of these two out yet. If they start really pushing at this point, anything could happen. But Casitas definitely having a very strong lead as we approach around 500 meters to go. Seabase and Pacific battling it out for that second position. Both are starting to fall behind a little bit here. Keep in mind, like I said before, it's the top 2 that go to the final here. So Pacific and Seabase really keep it at each other's throats here, trying to keep each other down so that they can push themselves into this lead here. But by the looks of it, Casitas starting to get open water on the other boats. However, it looks like Pacific's actually starting to pull it up ahead of them now. It looks like both boats actually are starting to pull ahead of Casitas at the moment. Casitas is starting to fall behind a little bit. Pacific appears to be pulling into the head here. Pacific and Casitas seem to be the top 2, the 2 to go on to the final, the 2 to beat at the moment. Seabase doing everything that they can to try to pull themselves ahead, but I don't know if it's going to be enough at this point. As they approach my tent, indicating they've got about 250 meters to go. Pacific pulling themselves ahead, starting to get themselves open water on Casitas, which is good for them. If they can keep themselves at this position right now, they may yet, they'll likely pull into the final. They're going to get the final almost regardless because they push the 250 meters to go. Pacific open water over the rest of the boats. Casitas and Seabase really struggling it out for that second position to see who's going to go into the finals. It's still anybody's game, but it looks like Casitas has still got a decent lead, a couple seats at the very least. I don't know if Seabase is going to be able to pull it off in time. They still got 250 meters or so to go, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Again, Pacific, very strong crew here. Ooh, Seabase catching some turbulence there. That is not good for them. A bit of a small crab there caught by Seabase. A little bit of a tossle in terms of balance, but that alone could slow your boat down to the point where Casitas, who's already got that bit of a lead there, could just keep their lead for the rest of the race. But Seabase really starting to power up here, starting to really speed up their rate, pulling a lot of pressure. Hopefully, it looks like they're doing everything they can to try to pull themselves ahead of Casitas, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. As they pass the finish line, it appears that Pacific, again, definitely got that first position there. As to who got second between Casitas and Seabase, it's hard to tell for certain. It looks like it might have been Casitas, but I can't say for sure without hearing from the officials. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into a bit of a break. We will resume at 4:40 with the women's junior varsity 4 final. That will be in Lane 1, San Diego, in Lane 2, Oakland Strokes, in Lane 3, Long Beach Junior Crew, in Lane 4, Marin, in Lane 5, Oakland Strokes, and in Lane 6, Pacific. That will be the final for the women's junior varsity 4 at 4:40. Tune in. We'll see you. Talk to you then.
You can have chicken. But they lay eggs, so we can have fresh eggs. Give me one more. Clean up. Do this. Chris, 40-minute break. 40-minute break. So that heat that Molly was in, they're growing again at 5:52.
Probably was a noisy one.
So they have their 5 They're running behind, so it's gonna be like 6.
I miss.
I
Tiny
love
minutes.
soccer too.
Tiny
I
minutes
love
soccer.
soccer. You can see them and I know what they're doing. I used to play, so I understand it. Here I just yell stuff.
Here I get this real hard to be the first. I get it.
Yeah,
But
So you can put it in soccer and save the money.
that's true.
Or you can start doing soccer.
Well, that's what Molly said to me. Molly said, Mom, you like soccer so much, why
Right?
don't you go play?
There are
There's
adult
moms,
leagues you can
there's
join.
Women's leagues you can play. Ow, hurt myself.
my brother has one of those dogs, and they raised
They're making it come back.
They are making.
Yeah.
We
I've seen
babysat
a lot
that
of
dog
it.
for a couple of weeks while he was in Hawaii.
Basset.
And we would walk the dog, and everyone would stop and point and laugh. And I'm like, baby must be funny looking because those are cool dogs. They
They're
their
really
nice
nice.
little,
They're really nice. And they're cute. And lazy. I love a lazy dog.
He's on the Dukes of Hazzard River.
Oh,
His
yeah.
dog Flash. Yes. He was like, that dog doesn't run.
And I like the way their little paws are
Yeah,
kind
they
of
have
like
big-
ballerina
Yep.
paws.
You didn't bring enough medicine for this.
And they
have some in my pocket. I just don't know if it's
Oh, I
time.
don't like
This
that.
time.
Our dogs used to, one would howl and then the other, and then you'd go back and forth. And we
It's
have
Murphy,
Murphy,
right?
We
Yeah.
have Murphy and Lana, and we lost Buster. We didn't lose him, he died.
See, I want to drive that. Yes.
Yeah, you can you pin
He was
volunteer
at
for that?
He was
Or no?
Yeah. I think they have to. I think